Hi there, Prescott Valley. My name is Lori Hunt, and I'm your Vice Mayor, and I'm thrilled to be here today on Council Chat. And I have to give a shout out to Mark and Ryan because they do a great job for us. And they made me laugh right before we started, so this is going to be a good Council Chat. So I'm here today with Heidi Achzeen, the Autism Program Supervisor, and Deanna Edgar, Director of Marketing and Development, and they're with Polara Health, but we also have DJ Puddles with us.
We do.
So we'll see if she gets up later. Okay, welcome guys. I'm really excited to be here. Deanna, Polara has quite a presence in Prescott Valley. Can you give me a brief history of Polara Health and how the organization serves our residents here in Prescott Valley?
Absolutely. We actually have quite a presence in the Quad City area. We've been here since 1966. Formerly we were West Yavapai Guidance Clinic, and we did a rebranding last June, a year ago. And really the rebranding was about, we're still the same organization, it's just that we're not just servicing West Yavapai anymore. We actually are branching services out, and we're taking children's services over into the Camp Verde area right now. We're on the Camp Verde school campus with our children's services. But we have been in this industry, or in this community, since 1966, serving in mental and behavioral health for our community. And we've got about 46 different services, from specialty services, which is one we'll talk about today, to children's services and adult services, and we've got our crisis stabilization unit, which is behind Tractor Supply in Prescott Valley. And anyone can walk through those doors 24/7 in crisis, and our staff is there to take care of who walks through our doors. We've got about 11 facilities in the Quad City area, so we've got quite a few sites that are out reaching out to our community. So
great.
Yes.
Great. I had some parents reach out to me about Autism Spectrum Disorders, ASD, and specifically services in our community for pediatric patients. It's disheartening to hear from parents that they experience obstacles in finding mental health care. Our goal with this Council Chat is to get as much information out as possible and to talk about what services are coming to our area if we don't already have them here. So, Heidi and DJ, tell me a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with Polara, and what programs Polara currently offers for residents with autism, be it online or in person.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Heidi. I have been with Polara Health. I'm going on to my 9th year now. I have been serving adults and children on the spectrum for the entire time. I am working on a doctorate in special ed, and then I have a history of helping deinstitutionalize those on the spectrum out of other states into the community living. Currently at Polara Health, we do have communication groups for adults and children on the spectrum. We have them in Prescott Valley, Chino Valley, and the Prescott location. And the groups are called Communication 101, and it just helps with just the social challenges that a lot of those on the spectrum deal with. In addition to managing your sensory needs when you're in those social situations so that you can be successful in the community and in your goals that you want to reach. We provide respite opportunities for parents and caretakers, so we'll take the adults or kiddos out into the community for an entire day and work on skills. And we recently went to Sedona to the Rainbow Trout Farm and went fishing, and we got to prepare the fish, and everybody tried it. In addition to, we offer a parent support group, a special needs parent support group that is held virtually on the second Tuesday of every month, where we bring in different service providers to talk about the supports that are offered in our community to those parents. Tuesday we had the Division of Developmental Disabilities talk to our group of parents. And then I just kind of help filter families into the supports that they need when they come to me. So they'll come to me, we'll talk about the unique needs for their individual, their kiddo, and then I'll help guide them to what they're looking for, because there's not one intervention for, one kiddo. It's different for everybody.
Right. Thank you for what you do. So if I'm a mom and I have a 2 or 3-year-old that has been diagnosed and needs some assistance, and I come to you, you would sign me up for some parenting classes, and what else?
Absolutely. We would help you with some parenting classes, either to support you in parenting the child or to support you in the feelings that you have knowing that your child just was diagnosed with a disability. With the kiddo that young, we would make sure that they're involved with the state through their AZIP program, which is for early intervention for those on the spectrum, as we see that early intervention leads to positive outcomes as adults.
Right.
So we would help that kiddo either with the play skills needed. Oftentimes at that age, they're looking for interventions like speech therapy, occupational therapy, and we can definitely help filter the families towards those right agencies.
And some of those are one-on-one in person. They don't all have to be online, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Interventions are best, more than likely one-on-one for those on the spectrum. Some kiddos prefer the in-person can be too much for them, too overstimulating, and so if they prefer an online communication, that's the way we will do it for them. And a lot of our kids also have co-occurring diagnosis. So in the world that we live in today, if the family feels safer and more healthy to meet virtually, we will do that as well. But I prefer in person, and I will meet you where you are. I meet a family in Rimrock regularly to make sure that they get the supports they need.
Great. So let's talk about the importance of a proper diagnosis of ASD.
Correct. With the change over the past 5 years of it being a spectrum disorder and diagnoses like Asperger's going away, the state of Arizona prefers a comprehensive test that looks at behaviors and emotions of those on the spectrum. So they look for those repetitive behaviors, speech and movement. They look for the social deficits. And that diagnosis it should come, preferably as early as possible because of that early intervention. And that diagnosis just helps drive what that kiddos and what that family needs. And if they need state services, for example, through the Division of Developmental Disabilities, or just some of those early interventions to help get the speaking going, get that communication up. We could absolutely, the diagnostic process is important before entering school,
right,
obviously. And there is a diagnosis difference between medical diagnosis and educational diagnosis.
So what's the difference?
Educational diagnosis is looking for how the autism impacts their ability to process and learn. Okay. A medical diagnosis is looking for their ability to function in areas of daily living and areas of daily living include your ability to be self-sufficient, feed yourself, dress yourself, obtain meals, safely bathe, those areas of living that we all do and take advantage of. Because it comes pretty simple to a lot of people.
So you mentioned schools. Do you get referrals from schools?
I do, yeah, absolutely. I do get referrals from schools just saying these kiddos need help, and Deanna and I did a fundraising at PHS, and we probably did 3 or 4 intakes from that, the school being like, oh my goodness, you're here. And then they would introduce us to the families, and then later they would come in and do an intake for our supports.
Great.
We find a lot of the families really benefit from the social groups, and the communication.
And the connection.
And the connection, the connection between parents has been invaluable.
So, Deanna, we're going to talk a little bit later about the foundation, but so do I have to be a member of Polara or I don't want to say patient,
Actually,
Polara?
we call them clients. So a client will come to us, and really it's our enrollment group that figures out how you can get our services, and so it's up to them. And we'll look at every situation, right? So whether it's coming in through Access or whether it's coming in through a private insurance, whether we can work with you on a sliding scale, whether we have grant dollars that we can use within this program, if we've got foundation dollars that we can use. There's a lot of different ways that we can help a family come and get services from us. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Heidi, back to you. What is the best evidence-based practices for kids on the spectrum?
The best evidence-based still is the applied behavioral analysis interventions. And ABA is what a lot of families will know it by. It's an umbrella of support. So there's a bunch of different interventions under that ABA. And some of the simple ones is the social narratives, where you practice social narratives. Exercise is actually an ABA recognized therapy. We do a lot of that peer-to-peer interaction where we play and do the social playing. The social groups are really important. If we're working on developing language, a lot of kiddos on the spectrum will kind of point at what they want, and we let them point and we say the word for them. That's called manding, and that's also an ABA intervention. So they would point at the cup, we would say cup, and then the hope is after a while they would develop that language.
Great.
Yeah.
So ABA, Applied Behavioral Analysis, is an evidence-based treatment widely accepted as the best way to treat autism spectrum disorders. And so it sounds like it's something you currently offer.
It is. We do a holistic approach, to be completely honest with you. Not all families have had good experience under ABA providers, so we meet them where they are. If their family culture is against that, then we definitely do a holistic approach on how we can best serve the whole unit, family unit.
So give me an example of a holistic approach.
Oh, a holistic approach, for example, we have families that prefer to see a chiropractor to align the neurons along the spinal cord. They believe it does for smoother connection and less disruption for their kiddos. And so then we would just support them. I would probably go out and play with them in the community and help them interact with their peers while they're going through that holistic approach.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. So thank you for all the websites that you sent me, and I'm going to post them on social media. And I noticed that there is some valuable information on the screening assessment tools and also resources. What can you tell me about some of these assessment tools?
Oh, the assessment tools are just really good guides and beginnings for caretakers and families. The ones I sent you are broken up in age groups, depending on the age. And it's just a good place for you to start to see if you need to take that next step with your pediatrician or through Polara Health. And so if your kiddo or adult has a bunch of red markers and a bunch of flags and they score high on those assessments, then you should take the next steps and call and make an appointment to get a full evaluation.
So I noticed you had 3 and under and then 8 and older. So what about that in-between group?
The 4 to 8, with somebody on the spectrum, it really is not their developmental age. A lot of time it's the age in which they present.
Great.
And so I would use the one closest to kind of what you're seeing. I was telling her, Dr. Temple Grandin says, once you meet one person on the spectrum, you've only met one person.
Right.
And so we really have to tailor it per person and per family.
Yeah, absolutely. And Heidi's done an amazing job growing our autism program.
Thank you.
It's relatively new to our organization, probably within the last 2 to 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so she's grown that. She's added staff to this program. She started our parent support group, which is free to the community. Anybody can join our parent support group, and they can just go to our website to learn more about that.
So let's give the website.
So our website is www.polarahealth.com.
Okay.
And on there, under support groups, we have a learning center, and you'll find our support group under there. They can just go sign up, and we'll send them a link for a Zoom, and then they get a reminder every month.
So for the parent support groups, I don't have to be a client of Polara?
No, you do not. It is a
Okay,
free
that's good to
service to
know.
anybody out there. And Heidi brings in amazing guest speakers that are, we just did one on Tuesday night. I think we had 14 people participating, and it's wonderful conversation, and it's a learning environment and connection with parents, between parents.
Right, connection is what we have found is really important. That connection, you're not alone.
Right.
There is support in the community. It just is really kind of quiet. But the community is starting to offer more and more supports. Every year we see more and more agencies and providers move up into our community as we grow.
Services, yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
really impressive.
We just are in the process of building your sensory room also. So
perfect.
It's over in our children's services on Cortez and Prescott, and
Yeah.
It's turning out fabulous.
We do have a great sensory room. We also got a grant for a resource library, which will be offered here very soon. And it's library, you know, you think your traditional sense where yes, there'll be books. There'll be children's book for children with disabilities, so they're just not reading those books about neurotypical children. There'll be sensory-friendly games, sensory-friendly activities. We're going to try to offer passes for families that can't afford a zoo pass, where them and their child on the spectrum can check it out and go out into the community and practice that social skills. If they need one of my direct support professionals to go with to help coach good skills to help that child and parent, we can do that as well. But we really are trying to grow just knowledge and just options for our families. It's the lack of options that really people struggle with.
So have you been to Park Collective yet? That seems like that would be a fun place to take kids.
I have been there, yeah, absolutely. It is really, really a great place. It's gets kind of busy, so you have to choose the right times, especially if you have a kiddo that really struggles with becoming overstimulated with sound. But if you have a kid that's really into kinetic energy and kinetic movement, yeah, absolutely.
It's
I would
a good resource for our community.
Yeah.
And it's nice the way they have the little kiddos area and the bigger kiddos, so if you don't want all the running and jumping and
right, there can be a calm area.
Good. Okay, so Deanna, you gave us a good segue into my next question, and that is, what is the future of autism service at Polara and Prescott Valley?
The entire spectrum, from birth to when we age out. We want to continue to provide, you know, we like to do really most people know it as anger management, but it's really an emotional regulation group where we can help, you know, what happens when you get overstimulated, what are good ways to manage that? We are starting to build vocational services into the adult side to help make job modifications and accommodations and find employers that will hire our population. For the kiddos, we're going to continue to expand our respite services to give those families a break, respite and relief, in addition to teaching kiddos those skills in the community to be successful. We do individual skills, and we call it skills development, where we'll take somebody in the community individually and work on skills. And it could be social skills, safety skills, money management skills. You have $5, how do you spend that? And include tax, those really hard stuff. We provide psychiatry and medication management. We have a provider that can do an appropriate autism assessment that the state of Arizona accepts.
Here in Prescott Valley?
In Prescott Valley, yeah, she can do it here. We have continued the Communication 101 group, which is a 12-week program. Every week it's a different topic that's really important to those on the spectrum. And we will just continue to offer those site-specific services. And the goal is to have a sensory room in Prescott Valley as well.
Okay, good. You need to let us know how we can help with that.
Yeah.
We are running out of time, but I have a quick question. I noticed one of the resources you sent me, Raising Special Kids website.
Absolutely.
Tell me what I can find there.
Raising Special Kids is an amazing resource for parents with kids in school.
Okay.
They will help advocate, and they know the laws under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. They will come and advocate with an individual education plan, an IEP, so they can help a parent and family through that process. And you just go to their website, and there's a button on the upper right-hand corner that says refer, and they can refer themselves, or an agency like myself can refer a family, and they'll send an advocate. They have somebody local who will come and sit with parents through IEP meetings to make sure that their kiddos' rights aren't violated.
Because that's a scary time.
That is a scary time, and just to put it out there, because of my education, I also can advocate through IEP meetings with a doctorate in special education. I can also help those families navigate that process.
Great. So Deanna, on the Polara website, there's a nonprofit foundation with a vision of commitment to a community in which mental health services are available to anyone and everyone in need. How can our residents, how can I help meet this vision?
Well, obviously, donations in our community to our organization. We're a nonprofit. We're a charitable nonprofit organization, and so anyone in our community can donate and specify where those dollars need to go. If they want to help with the autism program, absolutely. But our foundation is set up to help people in our community receive services, and so it's kind of twofold.
Great.
Absolutely.
Great. So one of our local moms started a Facebook page called Yavapai Autism Community, where parents can discuss needs and services. Anything else to add, Heidi?
No, I think that's a great Facebook page, actually. I check in on it.
Okay, good.
And no, I think the more that parents and families can get together and talk and communicate and brainstorm, not one intervention works for everybody.
Right.
And so I love that these families communicate with each other and talk about their experiences, negative and positive, right? I think it's important just for that information to flow. And just for us, Polara Health, is we just want to make sure that what we put out is accurate, evidence-based data.
Great. And we are going to have your name and number on the screen and your
Absolutely.
email, so that's how we get a hold of you. And this was very good information. I'm really excited. Can I log into any of your webinars?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I want to learn more information. I want to try to be as much of a resource as I can and connect you with families.
Please, we have Dr. Dan Davidson speaking next month about the Triple P parenting program through Kaibab Behavioral Health Services.
Okay.
And it's positive parenting for those specifically for kiddos with special needs.
Great.
And I think that would be really good. And if you could please tell people if they want to go through me for intakes, because our intake process can be challenging for those on the spectrum, just call me and that's something I can do. I can go to them to do the intake if the kiddo can't come to us.
So I'm going to refer a couple moms to you. I'm really excited. Thank
Please
you.
do.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
yeah.
So this is Council Chat. Thank you for being here with me today. I'm very excited. I always like to learn more things, and I learned a lot with you guys. So thank you so much, and thank you, DJ Piddles.
Thank you, DJ.
There you go.
You gonna come see us?
There we go. Thank you, ladies.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.